Ooh wee. Look at this. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, got some West Coast shit going on. I want y'all to see the phenomenon that is occurring right before your very eyes. You see these trails here? Those are fresh trails they just sprayed. All right. And all this haze you see here are the product of irradiated chemtrails. Right now it's 76 degrees in California. All right. 76 degrees in Southern California. We just had 2 days of rain. All right. And we're supposed to have more rain coming by Sunday. So we're supposed to have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. It's supposed to be raining. But as you can see, they're doing their desperate best to ensure that that might not happen. Because like I said, we're in an El Nino weather pattern this year. And, you know, we're in an El Nino pattern. And that's supposed to bring a lot of rain. So they're at war with El Nino right now. Okay? So they're spraying the shit out of the sky right now. Look at the shit. This is not natural. All right? All that shit right there, they call cirrus clouds. Let me tell you, man, look. They're at war with El Nino. So if we get a shitload of rain, if we get 4 or 5 days of rain, and it's supposed to be a lot, and especially in the spring when it's El Nino, we get a lot of rain. They're doing their level best to make sure that it doesn't happen because it messes up their narrative. It messes up the narrative that, what's up, Wax? It screws up the narrative that, you know, global warming and, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, California is in a drought. Because right now what they're trying to do in California is limit the amount of water that we are able to use each day. What's up, Derek? They're trying to limit the amount of water we use each day. And if there's a shitload of rain, that knocks that agenda out of the pocket. So all this right here, see how the sun is shining? Look how the sun is behaving behind these little things they call cirrus clouds. All right, I don't trust that any of this is real cloud formations. It might be a little mix of it, but when I see trails, when I come out here and I see, let me tell y'all something, man. Let me tell y'all something about condensation trails on planes. Number one, many of these commercial have air turbine engines, right? There very little condensation is created with these types of engines. All right, so they're telling you it's contrails, right? But these commercial planes have produce very little chemtrails or contrails because it's air turbine, like, you know what I'm saying? So the byproduct of that are not chemtrails, or condensation trails. You don't get a shitload of not enough to do that. What they got going on up there. All right, I just want y'all to see that. So there's a lot of talk going on that Trump is going to declare a state of emergency, right, for his border wall. Now, this does not mean that he's going to declare martial law. It's not what that means. You know, you don't need to. Okay, you do need to declare a state of emergency to get martial law cracking, but it doesn't automatically mean martial law. What he's doing is in order for him to get what he wants, he will declare a state of emergency so that his powers are not so limited, so he can get things done that he wants done. So all he has to do is say, look, we have an invasion at the border, okay? And you guys will not fund the wall. But if I declare a state of emergency, I can get that wall built, all right? Because we got foreign invaders that could possibly come in from the south and from Canada. They're doing Canada too. They want to restrict access through Canada, but no one's talking about that. Executive order, yeah. But this is the ultimate executive order. What's up, Sabrina? The wise one was good. Now, what you have to consider about declaring martial law is that the military, the power of the military is heightened, right? Their powers within the United States are upgraded. They can operate within the United States because they're not supposed to, right? Unless you're the National Guard. That's why they have the National Guard around. But, you know, you have a lot of things going on. A lot of things that I'm seeing, because I always tell people, see, don't look, right? That's my thing. I like to see and not look. And what I'm seeing is China talking shit, talking about get ready for war. Kim Jong-un in North Korea has been doing that for decades, okay? North Korea has been doing that for decades. Right now, what you're seeing is the ultimate kabuki theater, because the ultimate goal is to achieve what China's got going on here in the United States. In China, the people are very oppressed, okay? China is being run by a tyrannical government. A ton of those people I've read, yeah. So, in China, you got a social grade where, you know, they keep track of you in every single way. And you get a social grade or a social rating that will determine what type of future you have as an individual in China. Like if you can get a job, if you can get credit, if you can get a loan, if you can buy a house, you know. And this is what they're doing. They're tracking the people. They're tracking your every movement. They're tracking your purchases. They're tracking your social media accounts to determine what kind of life you can have in China. This is ultimately what they want to achieve everywhere. But in order for that to really work, because see, China has a great, they have their foot on the people's neck. Even though there's like 2 billion Chinese, way more than Americans, right? Even though there are 2 billion Chinese people in China, the governments that have ultimate and total control over them, despite their numbers. And this is because of their culture and their history, right? And it's an homogenous country. So it's much easier to use old customs and traditions and cultures to, you know, keep the neck on your people. And that's what you got going on in China right now, and North Korea. So it wasn't very hard for them to transition from an imperial regime, right? Because they were it's an imperial nation. They oversee a lot of different countries. They have a lot of countries under their empire, right? But then at the same time, it's a communist country. So, you know, that's what they want here. And so what I see going on is like the proliferation of 5G, right? They got all this 5G they want to roll out. Donald Trump is dead set on getting 5G everywhere. And I'm gonna tell y'all something, 5G is a weapon, all right? 5G is a weapon, it's dangerous, and everywhere they've tested it, right, on animals in certain areas, they tested it in one one country, Easter Island or somewhere, and a lot of birds just fell out of the air and dropped dead. Okay, so 5G is not good. All right, they put 5G. They put these wide gig systems on a millimeter wave in the schools, in a school, right? And these kids are getting sick. They're having heart problems. They're having migraines. The girls are just cramping all the time and all that. Just in the schools. So we have to look at what's going on with this. All right. And then, of course, you have the chemtrails. And then you have the chemtrails. And then you have in the Golden Globe Awards, I don't know if y'all saw that, but they had people in white coats go into the crowd in the audience where these celebrities were, trying to give them injections of the flu shot. Okay? And it was supposed to be a skit, right? But what I saw was some frightened celebrities that did not want no parts of that. Okay? So these are things that are rolling out. They want to give you a flu shot, and they want to do all these things, and then they want to put a wall up around the borders. They don't want you to go nowhere. They want to achieve what they got to achieve. They have to have ultimate control over you. They have the ID 2020 coming out, right? Who knows what's attached to that? Are we going to have to get vaccinated? Are we going to have to do this? Are we going to have to do that? What comes along with the ID 2020? They're already starting to put up hard checkpoints in state borders, right? They're building hard checkpoints. That means it's not a temporary, because sometimes in certain countries, right, where the U.S. is invaded and infected, they'll have soft checkpoints that are temporary, right? But now they're starting to build hard checkpoints in the United States, between states, under the auspices of making sure that you're not bringing some type of different plant that's not native to where you're going. Come on, man. It's the United States. When has that ever been an issue? Okay? So, this is all the shit that's coming down the pipe. But they're not talking about those hard checkpoints. Meanwhile, we got this R. Kelly bullshit going on. And of course, the Negro is going to be paying attention to that. Are y'all aware that Russia is targeting black folks in America? Like online? Tracking our habits, seeing what we're putting online, looking at our social media accounts, putting out fake accounts to kind of incite things. Why? Everything that is done, okay, everything that they're doing to us, they have to dumb down the Negro first. They have to do it to where, okay, we have to ensure that the black folks are subdued and submissive. We have to be docile. They want to keep us dumbed down, so they keep putting out this shit, right? It's always something. And R. Kelly, he's a creep. What is there to argue about, right? Why is it like, who cares why these witnesses are coming out on this documentary? Who cares if you saw one of the chicks dancing at R. Kelly's concert? Who cares if one of the women were being coached by another victim's parents? Who cares about that? I don't. It's well established in my mind that he's a Chester, allegedly. To me, in my mind, he's a Chester already. No amount of things that he can do, starting a website to put all these people on blast. I don't care about that. You deserve everything that's happening to you. It's that simple. You deserve to be drugged through the mud. You deserve to be slandered and smeared. I don't care about you. So what, nigga? Now, do the enabling ass parents like Aaliyah's mom? I'm very disappointed in her, man. I tell you what. You know, her major concern, she can't convince me that Aaliyah wasn't married to R. Kelly, that they wasn't getting it in when she was 14 years old. You can't convince me that she knew nothing about it. You can't convince me of that. You know, now they're talking about, oh, they had a three-way. Aaliyah, her, like, come on, man. All this bullshit. Y'all know what they're doing, right? They're keeping the Negroes distracted. Meanwhile, if you go to these white people's YouTube pages, they're doing their thing. They're prepping. They're showing you how to hunt. They're showing you how to gut and clean animals. You know, they're telling you the different locations that are best to be in the event of an emergency. Something that I wanted to talk about, and I am going to talk about. And then you have Trump. Everybody's worried about Trump declaring a state of emergency. So, y'all know what that means? That means that you get the funding and the things that you need to go toward that emergency. And right now, he wants to fund the border wall. He's going to declare a state of emergency so that he can get funds to build that border wall. So we have to consider this. If they're putting it on blast about this with Trump, and they're talking about this border wall, you have to understand that climbing a wall is not the only way to get into this country. You understand? That is not the only way, not by half. I told you guys a few weeks ago that they caught 2 Chinese nationals being dropped off on the other side of the border, right, from the other side, from Mexico. So, are not the people to worry about, right? Not necessarily. They've been coming up in and out of here since the Mexican War, okay? They've been sneaking, they've been coming up in here. The cartels have a lot of foothold in this country. Y'all think El Chapo got away? Y'all think he broke out of jail? Y'all think he just broke out of jail? From New York or whatever the hell he was, and got to Mexico? El Chapo? In a high security prison, right? Y'all think he just broke out? Like Assata Shakur did? No. They let that nigga out because listen, man, who do you think these people have to go through, right? Who do you think these Chinese nationals had to go through to get in a plane to get dropped off? They had to go through Mexico. Now, I feel like they were testing how we would react to them coming over here and getting dropped off in them planes with Chinese nationals. Okay, it was a test. It was a dry run. Okay? But we also have to understand that there are already millions of Asian people in this country, of Chinese people. Okay? There are millions of Chinese in this country. They've been coming up here since the railroads, okay? The Chinese railroads. So, and they are already, they already have positions high up in the government. They own a lot of businesses. They own a lot of land. They own a lot of stock in the United States. And that stock is us, the people. That's why I keep telling y'all we're slaves, because We have serial numbers. If you look at your Social Security card, you look at the back, the Social Security, there is a serial number. That serial number is not for the card. That serial number is for you. We are property. The hottest commodity in the United States is the people, because we work, we produce a lot, and we consume a lot. That is how we keep this economy going. By working for other people, making them rich, okay, with resources, not with money. So you have to understand something. The people that own the wealth in this country, they're not Scrooge McDuck. You know how Scrooge McDuck has a vault with all this cash in it, and he's swimming in it all the time? Now, those gold coins he has have value, but all those dollars that he has that makes up most of the shit in his vault is meaningless. When you trade in stock, you trade resources, okay? And these people own that. These bankers, these financiers, finance companies, they own resources. They own gold. They own the land. You buy a house in certain states, you have to pay property taxes for having that house on that land. Who own that? Who owns the land your house is sitting on right now? Not you, in most cases. We don't own jack. If we're not in the upper 1%, we don't own nothing. Now, some of us do own land, and that's great. But you have to realize those people that own land, okay, that I see, that I know, they don't have to work for nobody else. And they don't have to be rich, because everything they need is on that land. And they can sell the resources on that land to people for credit. See, that's where they lose out. Because if they go to a farmer's market and they sell their products that they farm, all they're getting is cash. They're not getting anything of value back for the resources they're giving to you. So they're not wealthy either. Okay? They have self-wealth. Yo, I'm back. Yeah, I had to they messed it. I had a bad connection, and then my wife called me. So anyway, so yeah. So those people that own that land, they're going to be selling their products off that land that they grow and raise for cash. They're not trading resource for resource. So, you know, these wealthy people, if they need more cash, they just print it out and recycle it into the economy. Meanwhile, we're making them rich because we're working for them and helping them build their resources. Let me see what y'all talking about. Okay, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Woo! Thank you guys for waiting. So yeah. So Derek, I know Derek invests, right? So Derek is smart. He probably invests in resources as opposed to, you know, Microsoft or some shit like that. Because, you know, these wealthy people, they don't need to invest in like technologies, right? Because the people will invest into technology normal people. And once they reach a certain level, they have their eyes set on things that can actually be good for them if the economy crashes. Because let's face it, if the economy crashes and they were completely dependent on money, right, cash money, then everybody would lose out. So, yeah. So yeah. You guys, all the mods of Hassan Campbell, it's very interesting that people are trying to drive a wedge between us, and talking and people telling people this about agents and all this other stuff. We can't let them get us at each other's throats. So I saw the video Derek did today. Oh man, Derek, you don't be playing around, boy. When people piss you off, ooh-wee. Yeah, they stay trying. Like that one idiot came on trying to get me to go to his channel, and I'm like, dude, and coming in my comments talking about, oh, go do. I'm going to check anything out. Like, get off my head. But eventually I did go see what he was talking about, and he wanted me and all of us to do a gun. Who can raise more money in a GoFundMe for molestation? And he these foundations that he likes, that he wants to give to. And I'm like, bro, the way you went about it initially. Now, if you'd have came out with that straight out the gate, that might have been something that we could talk about. But instead, you decided to make video after video after video, shitting on the guy, and shitting on his mods, and that's what happened, man. Like, we ain't got time for that. So, if you want someone's attention, I'm talking to the haters, okay? If you wanted Hassan's attention and you wanted him to help boost your channel, or do whatever, the way to go about it is not to make 100 negative videos, then come onto his mods channel and comment sections and try to convince the mods to get people in on your little challenge, right? That's not the way to go about it. You should have came out with that out the gate, and he probably could have explained to you how he felt about giving to foundations and foundations in general. Like, I believe in, if I want to be charitable, I want to make sure I give directly to the person in need. I don't need no intermediaries. What's up, Haas? Sean Campbell needs to get off of you. I mean, yeah. That's what it is. I mean, because they feel like this is what it is. They feel like the only way they can get any traction is by shitting on the next man. And you know what? They right. Because look at all the people that make positive videos about Hassan Campbell. They don't really get the boost like that, right? Except for Derek Williams. Derek Williams has been boosted. But when you look at these guys, these negative comment guys, one of them, I think it was, I'm not even gonna say his name. He started, when I first saw his first video where he was talking crap, right? There was the same one that said, I don't mean no disrespect, then proceeded to disrespect for 20,000 minutes, and then said at the end, I don't mean no disrespect. He had like 50 some followers. Then I think the next week or so, he did another video. He had like 200 something subscribers. And then the time after that, he had 400. So every time, even when he's talking about other shit, he'll throw Hassan Campbell's name in the comment section or in the title just to draw people in. And I don't know if he's actually talking about him because I don't listen. So at some point I had to keep putting not interested because he's annoying. So I keep putting not interested. And now they don't even suggest him to me anymore. But it took a lot of times to put not interested. That goes with all these dudes. Like I just hit not interested because they ain't talking about nothing. So, but yeah, we just have to, there's always gonna be a snake in the camp, I guess, and it's sad shit. Like, why can't you just leave? If you're a mod for Hassan Campbell, if you're a mod for me, and if you're a mod for anybody in our camp, and you don't like what we talking about, you don't like us, why can't you just leave? What's the deal? Because what's done in the dark will come to the light eventually. But what you're doing is now, see, when you messing with people's, now you're blocking people that are giving donations. Now you in another realm. Now you going a little bit too far. If you don't agree, kick rocks, exactly. But they don't want to just disagree. They want to stop the progress. They have a fatal attraction, exactly, Haas. Misery loves company. Yeah, ain't no suppose about it, bro. That's what it is. Because they're emotionally and mentally, they are midgets. They're mental midgets. And it's just like the people that protect people like R. Kelly. They bring up all this other shit. They use straw man arguments. Or what about Hugh Hefner? Okay, Hugh Hefner. When Hugh Hefner come up, we'll talk shit. We'll do that. But he's dead. Or what about this guy? The straw man argument is probably the weakest argument. We're talking about R. Kelly and this nasty bullshit. Okay? Yes, it might be a media lynching, and he deserves that. He deserves to be dragged through the mud. Even if there are girls that are lying, because you're going to have some people that are telling the truth, you're going to have some that are lying. You're going to have some that's trying to get money, and some that just want to have closure. Oh, well, you brought that on yourself for being a nasty nigga. Don't give people the ammunition to load the magazine to shoot you with. And you'll be good. Or get your vest. Get your vest on, you know what I'm saying? Put the vest on, Oh, by the way, I got a hack for you, okay? Damn. So I know you'll see I'm real with mines. I know you are, Joyce. So, listen. Bulletproof vests. Okay, I know in some states you can't have them. I know, it's retarded. Why can't you have, what's up, beautiful brown? Why can't you have a vest, a bulletproof vest? I don't know why that would be illegal. It's not like you can kill somebody with it. But here's a hack. Get yourself a weight vest with sand that has the sandbags in it with the weight. Now, it is heavy and it can be cumbersome, but in a pinch, and there's mayhem and pandemonium all over the place, throw the weight vest on, the sand will stop most caliber bullets, most small arms caliber bullets. Because in a firefight, in the military, you have sandbags all the time. You build up sandbags, and you build cover with it. The sand will stop most rifle rounds, most small arms rounds. So that's just a little hack. Okay, so if you can't get a bulletproof vest, just get a vest, a weight vest that has, the little sand bags in it, and that might help, a little bit. So, that's just a little pointer for me. Anyway, I'm at work, y'all, and I'll probably get at y'all tonight for a little late night education. You know what I'm saying? Go check out the video I did last night, and about the Second Amendment. Okay, an English lesson on the Second Amendment. Very good information. And that's something that I really want you guys to share with people, because we have to teach common sense to people. I know you were, Joyce. You were right there. Joyce and the wise one. So yeah, go check that out. Share it, because it's undisputable. It's undisputable. When you know what the Second Amendment means, and all that, very good information. And you can't kill this argument. You can't. It's reality. It's fact. Anyway, I'm gonna get back at y'all later. Salute. Much love to y'all. Hit that like button on the way out, and I'll get back at y'all tonight.